and welcome back to Telepathy. I'm just kidding. I kind of wanted to start it like one of those ads, that are
Yeah,
like,
what if on season 3, the first time, our first episode, we're like, hello, welcome back
what if we
to
just switch up
Telepathy.
our podcast tone and we turn into one of those like meditation podcasts that are
Yeah.
like, in today's episode, we'll be focusing on the mind. Well, I guess this episode is about coping mechanisms, so maybe we should do it
Wait,
like a headspace thing.
was that a cold open?
That was a cold opening. Welcome back to the episode. This is episode 42.
I don't even know anymore.
I don't know what the point of counting is. Like, what sort of value does it
Yeah, like
bring?
at some point I feel like the 50th episode will be pretty much a landmark.
Oh, true.
And the 100th, the 100th
The 100th
episode.
episode. Sorry.
I know. Yeah, I just randomly got like a German accent for like 0.001 seconds. Why was that really funny?
Anyways, so today we're talking
The
about
100th
the
episode.
100th episode. Sorry. Okay. Shout out to the Germans. So, fun
Wait,
fact.
we should make a post that's like shout out to the dot dot dot, and then on each
Yes.
slide it's like a different group of people that we've shouted out.
We should
I'm
like
doing
have
that.
a list of who we've shouted out. But anyways, so we're talking about coping mechanisms today. And funny story, this morning I texted Anna. I was like, "Oh, I don't know if you have any other ideas, but we could do." Well, I thought I was saying coping mechanisms, but I sent copy mechanisms. And Anna responds with, "What is that?" And I literally was like, "Anna, you don't know what coping mechanisms are?" Like, so I literally sent like a dictionary definition of it, and you were like, "Oh," because I sent copy
Yeah. I
mechanisms.
was so confused. I thought that this was some new like Gen Z term that I like hadn't heard about because I haven't been on TikTok in a week.
Wow, congrats.
Also, it was funny because when you were saying like Anna, how do you not know what that is? You did this like side eye, and I feel like even though like people couldn't see you doing the side eye, like it was like audible.
It was
Like
the audible side eye,
yeah,
even though
you're
I
like
literally
Anna.
can't type.
Yeah,
Anna, how do you not know what that is?
yeah.
A copy mechanism. It kind of does sound like something like
Copy. Yeah, sounds like something.
I
But
meant
yeah,
coping, and that's the episode.
now we're on the same page about what the episode is about.
Great.
Oh wait, is it your turn to do the camp question?
It is,
Okay.
and I have thought of it already. Also, we're in person, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Sorry we missed last week.
yeah,
That
uh,
coping for us looked like taking a week off
yeah,
because we were too busy.
yeah. But we're back for good. Bow, bow, bow.
Okay. Anyways, the camp question, because we always start off with our little icebreakers, because summer camp vibes. Name, age, and what was your first job?
Ooh, that's a good one. Um, my name is Anna. My age is 21. And my first like official job where I got paid was working at Starbucks,
Hmm.
which was really a really fun job. Like I would totally go back there if I wasn't pursuing a career now. But
If you were getting a degree,
yeah, but it was really fun. I was like my favorite part was like doing the barista, just like making drinks and
baristing.
yeah, baristing.
Even though I am a barista now, that was not my first job. Oh, my name is Enzo, and I'm 16. And my first job was at a chicken salad place. I think it's
I
a
feel like that's
chain.
so random. Yeah, it
It's,
is.
it's a chain. It was at Chicken Salad Chick.
I feel
And
like that's so like niche or unique of a first job to have because people will be like, "Oh, I was a barista, I was a lifeguard," and you're like, "Yeah, I worked at a chicken salad place."
and no shade, but I literally hated it so much.
Yeah, it
It
doesn't
was
sound
it
fun.
wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Yeah,
Hypothetically or like allegedly, I don't know if like they're gonna like sue me or something, or I don't know why I'm always convinced I'm gonna
no,
get sued.
I
Like,
think you, I think you would only get sued if you release some sort of like insider information. I feel like you're
yeah,
allowed to have your opinion on if it was good or not.
if I was like, they don't mop. Oh wait.
Well,
Well, allegedly. No, I'm just kidding. They mopped.
I'm sure they don't care if
Okay, now I'm gonna get sued. Anyways, music and TV shout outs from this
I
week.
have really good ones for this week.
Okay.
Unfortunately, last week we missed the Declan McKenna What Happened to the
Oh,
Beach
duh.
release, so I'm gonna do two music shout outs, unless you're gonna do.
I have one from the album as well, but I feel like we might have different songs.
Okay, yeah, we can just both do it because it deserves multiple shout outs. So my first music shout out is Declan McKenna's What Happened to the Beach album came out, and my favorite song on that's not a single is Mezzanine. I love that song. It's like
You wanna catch
so
me in your
yeah, I like the part where it's
mezzanine.
like ah ha ha
Yeah,
brainchild.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So yes. By the way, we have a playlist called the Telepathy playlist on Spotify where we add all of our music shout out songs. So if you want to check that out, go to our Instagram at the Telepathy Pod. We have a little highlight with a link to the playlist. Also, my second music shout out. 2 nights ago, MGMT released their album Loss of Life, which is so good. I'm just like living right now because like all my favorites are coming out
Just
with such
drowning in new
good, yeah,
music.
literally. And I think I'm gonna shout out the song "Loss of Life," the title track, because it's just like so. I don't know. It just like scratches my brain. It has this little like melody in it that's just like a
A brain scratcher.
yeah. It's just like a little like synth noise, like really simple, but it's like ooh, it's so good.
I live for a good synth. But my music shout out, so from What Happened to the Beach, I'm shouting out It's an Act because I really love that song.
That's a really good one too.
And then also, of course, 16 Carriages. Well, also Texas Hold'em, but I'm shouting out 16 Carriages because I feel like it does need more love because, yeah, Beyonce, new music, Act 2 is coming, and I'm so excited. I think that this is a great sound for her, and it's not really anything like
I
that
really
new.
like it.
Right.
I'm not really like a huge Beyonce fan, which I do like her music. I just like
Hmm.
have never like gotten that into her, but I
Right.
really liked Texas Hold'em.
Yeah, and I feel like everyone is like, "Oh my gosh, have you heard the new Beyonce song?" And I'm like, "What happened to songs? There are two songs." But as a Lemonade stan, I loved Daddy Lessons, and this is kind of giving me that same
Hmm.
feeling because it is sort of that same genre, that same realm. So I love, and it's so good. So yeah, and I don't really have a movie shout out. Did I watch? No, I did. I watched Barbie and the Diamond Castle.
That's the best Barbie movie, hands down.
Oh, there's so many good ones though. I also watched Princess and the Pauper.
That's another good one.
Literally last weekend, the only sort of free time I got around to was watching Barbie movies.
Barbie and the Diamond Castle, though, like I could like live there. I could like live in that world.
My goal, like my bucket list, is to make a live action version of it.
Ooh, oh my gosh.
Like it would be so
You should
pretty.
be like the director that does
No,
that.
like that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Like I want to be the one to do it.
wait, that would be
Nobody steal my
iconic.
idea. This is me copywriting
Yeah.
it right here, right now. Even though somebody has definitely had that idea, but and of course, Liana and Alexa will end up together because I think that's what they originally tried to do. But
I just really like the cottage core vibes. I just like when they live in the cottage before Slider like invades their house and like
their house burns down. It's so
yeah, that was
sad.
really tragic.
It's actually really sad. Like I remember being little, being like, "Oh my God!" Like
Yeah,
their house burned
and their
down.
house is so cute. But Slider is like kind of an icon. Like
Yeah.
he's a really good villain.
No, literally.
My music or my TV shout out or my movie. Actually, I have a movie and a TV shout out. Man,
We're drowning this
I'm
week.
drowning in media this week. So movie shout out. I watched Whiplash, which is the movie by Damien Chazelle,
Yes.
the La La Land director, and oh my gosh, you have to watch that movie like as soon as you possibly can.
I need to. I tried to watch it last summer, but it wasn't on anything.
Yeah, so they just put it on Netflix, which is I think why I've been hearing about it more, just because like more people have been watching it, and it's literally I might add it to my Letterboxd top four next time I watch it. I'm not even kidding. It's
Oh
like
my
that good.
gosh.
It's crazy. Oh, it's so good.
We analyzed the intro scene with the drummer or whatever. So I've seen that part.
Oh, okay. And Miles Teller, who plays the main character, he actually did. I looked it up, and he did like 99% of the drumming in that movie, which is insane. Like,
Maybe it's a Damien Chazelle thing because Ryan Gosling did
yeah,
like all the piano.
yeah. Because so I was in Ryan Gosling learned that for La La Land, which is crazy because that
So
was really
good.
good too. And then Miles Teller apparently has always been a drummer, but he had to learn jazz drumming for the movie, which is a whole different, like,
Style.
it's crazy. I could just like go on and on about that movie, so you need to watch it. And then I was looking for like a show to start this week, and I started watching Abbott Elementary.
I love that show. I've seen like
You have?
a few episodes, but it's so
It's so
funny.
funny, yeah. It's like about, it's basically like The Office, but taking place in an elementary school. And all the teachers are just really iconic. And like,
Yeah, the principal is my
yeah,
favorite.
the principal is like, she's like not supposed to be a principal. And you find out later in the
Yeah,
season why she got the job because she like blackmailed somebody basically. Um,
but like she does
but
her
she like,
job,
but like, yeah,
kind
the
of.
school's going great. So like, I feel like she's doing her job fine,
Yeah.
you know?
So yeah, moral of the story, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like for week recap, we could almost kind of include that in our conversation.
Hmm.
Because for me personally, this was a week that required many coping mechanisms because there
Hmm.
was a lot to cope with.
Yeah. And I feel like my week recap is never like interesting. It's always like, just
Like
doing
I went to
school.
school, I did that. Yeah. Um, okay, coping mechanisms. Where to begin?
I guess we could start by like, what are coping mechanisms for the people who don't know?
Who
That's
are
not
unaware with
me.
our coping mechanisms?
Yeah, the people who read coping mechanisms, not copy mechanisms, and still didn't know what it was.
Here's your definition.
Shout out to the people that don't know what coping mechanisms are.
Yes, let me read the definition that I sent to Anna, even though you were fully aware of
Yeah.
what it
Yeah, wait,
was.
that's so funny.
Okay, coping mechanisms are behaviors that aim to avoid stress or unpleasant emotions. These behaviors can be positive, in parentheses, adaptive, or negative, aka maladaptive. Problem focused coping. Sorry, I feel like I'm sounding like one of those like health podcasts again, but it's kind of funny. Problem focused coping aims to eliminate or change the source of your stress, while emotion focused coping helps you change the way you react to your stressors.
Yeah, I feel like if you're in like a stressful situation, you can either like kind of fall into like really bad habits, which could be things like, I don't know, just like procrastinating, eating unhealthy foods, not working out, like just not taking care of yourself, or you can like recognize that you're in a stressful situation and like do things that'll actually help you get better, which would be the positive coping mechanisms.
Yeah, I guess I sort of realized that coping mechanisms, it's just a neutral thing actually, because for some reason I always associated it with something positive, like, oh, a coping mechanism, like you're coping. But I forgot that like
Hmm.
it's neutral. Like you can have positive coping mechanisms, but there's also
Yeah, I
negative.
guess I didn't realize that too. I didn't really like think too much about it because I feel like I thought of it more in a negative connotation. Like I
Oh,
feel like
really?
I thought of it as like, oh, he's like taking out his anger on somebody as a
Yeah,
coping mechanism, or like he's um like laying in bed the whole day as a coping mechanism.
yeah.
Which I
Telepathy's
feel like we could,
hypothetical man.
yeah,
Just
yeah. I don't know who
he's taking out his anger.
I don't know who that was. I don't even know why I used he. Like, um, who is this mystery person? I'd love
Mystery
to know.
telepathy hypothetical.
Yeah, I think we could also in this episode talk about the Gen Z idea of like bed rotting,
Yeah.
because I feel like that'd be interesting to talk about, but it wouldn't feel like a whole episode.
Hmm.
I don't know. That could be a whole episode
It
though.
could. Okay. So I guess we'll start with good coping mechanisms
Hmm.
and then we'll turn the
Or should we
tables.
start with bad and then end on a good note?
Oh,
I
it's
feel
up
like
to you.
I feel like we should start with bad and talk
Okay.
about like what not to do, and then turn it into like what are good coping mechanisms so that people like know what to take into their life
Yes.
because we're a positive podcast. I have this website that I pulled up of negative coping mechanisms, so I'll just go through a few of them.
Okay.
Let me know if you relate to any of these. Substance and alcohol abuse.
Definitely not good to turn to that.
Lashing out physically or verbally. That's kind of what he was doing. A mystery telepathy person. Destroying objects or personal property. I feel like some of these things, like, my cats do. Like, I'm thinking of, I don't know
They wrote
why.
this for your cats. Like when they're mad,
Yeah,
they just
no, I don't know
destroy.
why, but I think when I was talking about, like, he was lashing out, I was thinking of, like, how, like, he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking of like he was lashing out, I was thinking Rue will like my cat Rue will like get into a fight with Sugar Pie, and then or like okay, Sugar Pie attacks Rue, and then Rue gets mad, so Rue runs over to Copper and like takes out her anger on Copper, and like attacks Copper because she's mad that Sugar Pie attacked her.
Wait, we can apply that to the real
Yeah,
world.
that's what I was gonna say. I feel like we could apply that to the real world. Like, so say that like somebody's being really mean to you, maybe they're not actually mad at you. Maybe it's kind of like bullying. You know how like as a
Yeah.
kid, people were always like, bullies aren't act like it's not about you, it's about what the bully is dealing with
Right, like
at
they're
home or
insecure, they're
whatever. Yeah.
projecting.
Yeah. Yeah, like projecting. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Also, I saw this one here, which is like leaving without warning. I think definitely a coping mechanism is not to just like disappear from the situation, you need to like deal with it because
Mm,
just sort of avoiding it is not gonna make anything
wait,
better.
this is reminding me of my friend in college. My why did I say that as if I'm like not in college anymore? My friend, my first year of college,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like there was just like a lot of drama with my friends and him. And instead of sometimes like when we were trying to work stuff out, he would just like he was literally the type of person to do like an Irish exit, and that was like his one of his personality traits was doing an Irish exit, which is just like leaving unannounced.
An Irish exit. I've
Yeah,
never heard that,
you
but that's
haven't,
that's funny.
but like that was like he just thought that was like a funny thing to do.
Like just literally getting up and leaving.
Yeah, he would do that a lot at like when we were just hanging out. He would just get up and leave as like a joke. It was like a bit that he did because he had all these like, bits. But then he would also do that when we were like having a conversation, which
Like
was
he would genuinely leave.
yeah. Like we'd be hanging out in my dorm and he'd just leave and then not come back, and we thought that he was going to like get something, but he just like wouldn't come back. And then we'd text him and be like, "Hey, are you coming back?" And he's like, "No."
Oh,
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that until that we brought that up.
that's
Yeah, I feel
interesting.
like he had a lot of strange coping mechanisms. Here's another one that I feel like we could relate to, impulsive shopping.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I had a huge problem with this my sophomore year. I feel like it's better now. Like I actually feel like I'm a lot better with money management.
Same.
But my
Well,
sophomore year, well, am I better with it? I don't know. Maybe I just make more money. Like I know it
yeah.
sounds weird, but like um because I didn't have a job my sophomore year or like the beginning of it, but during chemistry when I would be like really stressed out, sometimes in class, like I would just like pull up my phone and buy something. Like one time I bought like the Queen Nicki Minaj vinyl off of eBay just because I was like really stressed about this assignment. And so I was just like, let me have a package to look
Hmm.
forward to, which that's like real, wanting to have something to look forward to. But
Yeah.
obviously in most situations, like of course that's okay occasionally, but if you're just using a physical object
Hmm.
as like a coping mechanism,
Hmm.
that's not good?
Yeah. And I feel like we've talked about this a little bit in like a previous episode. I don't know which one, but I feel like I remember being in my closet in my sophomore year apartment, so it must have been an early episode. But
Yeah.
um, I think we were talking about like impulsive shopping and like how like when your package finally arrives, you're just like, oh, that's it, and then you move on with your
No,
life.
exactly. Like there's nothing else to look forward to. It's the
Yeah,
idea of like something coming in the mail.
exactly. I feel like I don't really like impulsive shop, but I'm more impulsive in like if something it's not like I go out searching for stuff to buy. It's more that like if I see something that I want, I like feel like I have to have it, so I buy it.
Yeah.
So like it's especially like, if an artist releases like new merch or like sometimes a new I don't really buy many physical albums, but like when Declan McKenna released his physical albums, I like pre-ordered the CD. So it's like I just feel like I have to have certain things.
Exactly. And I thought of another bad coping mechanism, actually from a real world situation from this week, in
Mm,
fact. But I was kind of drowning in homework this week, and there was many times where I still had a lot more to do, but it was getting really late and I wasn't ready for bed or whatever. Like physically and mentally, like I
mm-hmm.
couldn't go to bed because I still had so much to do. And I was still just in my normal clothes from the day. I hadn't brushed my teeth, taken off my makeup or anything. And I could have, used an entire hour to keep working on homework, or I could spend 30 minutes getting ready for bed, and then I'm all ready and a little bit more relaxed and at ease. So
Mhm.
then I can finish my assignments. But instead, I decided that, oh, I don't want to leave a bunch of stuff for me to do in the morning. So I'm going to get this all done now. So I worked on it. And then I was like, I'm not going to shower tonight. So I just like didn't shower.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
like sleeping with makeup on is like not good for your
Mhm.
pores and stuff. So I think it's good to take the time to, have proper hygiene and stuff. Or also, like,
Mhm.
I could have done laundry, which would have set me up for success for the rest of the week.
Mhm.
But instead, I kind of just put it off another day just to get more
Mhm.
stuff checked off. And that like goes again with the 5-minute rule, where if it takes 5 minutes, just get it done.
Yeah.
But instead, it's like really overwhelming for me. So I just keep focusing on one thing.
Yeah.
But then it's like I leave all this other stuff to do and it's
Right.
not good.
I feel like, especially with the showering thing, I always try to find like an incentive or something. So like for me, it's like I don't like going to sleep if my hair's like freshly wet, because then my bangs get all messed up when I sleep and
Hmm.
they look really weird in the morning. So I'm like, if I take a shower like 2 hours before I have to go to bed, then I'll be all showered and then I can like do my homework for the rest of the time, and then my hair will be drier and I can go to bed right as soon as I'm done working.
And honestly, I am a night shower and I hate not going to bed, like not showered. Like
Mhm.
I actually love the feeling of getting out of the shower and getting under the covers and stuff.
Mhm.
And my whole life I've been like that. But then recently I'm not going to say haven't been able to do that because I could have, but instead I opted to, keep working and stuff. Then I'm like, oh my God, I'm such a failure. Like I hate this. So that's like really annoying. But if I were
Yeah.
to just take literally 15 minutes to shower and stuff, I
Yeah.
feel like it would set myself up for more success. And then, if I stay up 15 minutes later because I shower, so be it. But yeah,
Mhm. Another bad coping mechanism on this list is trauma dumping, which I feel like I don't really do that.
I honestly feel like sometimes I am guilty of this, where somebody will say something and it's a little unrelated and it'll make me think of something. And
Mm.
I'm like, oh my God, kind of like this or whatever, but it's like a little bit darker.
Mhm.
And then kind of the response is like, oh, like I'm sorry. And then I'm like, wait, shoot, like I didn't mean to
Oh, yeah.
like I just meant to talk about something, but then I don't know.
That makes sense.
I always feel weird because I hope people know that when I say stuff, I'm like, I'm not asking for sympathy. Like I'm just trying to talk.
Sympathy, won't you come
Around.
around?
We need to be put down with this. Our podcast
No,
needs to be ended right
you should have
now.
seen the weekend that Declan McKenna's album came out. Me and Carolina, like, so Carolina, Enzo's sister, visited me in Savannah.
Hmm.
And, like, I felt so bad for Brooke, my roommate, because we were, like, making Declan McKenna references, like, every second. Like, we went to the beach and we saw a golf cart and we're like, we'll take the golf cart into town. And then on the beach, we saw seagulls, and seagulls are in the Sympathy music video. And we were like,
Yes.
and then when we were on the beach, there's also in the song, it's like, what happened to the beach? And we're like, what happened to the beach? and then we saw a guy with a metal detector on the beach, and the Declan McKenna's album cover is him with a metal
Metal
detector, and we
detector.
were like freaking out. And then we watched Declan McKenna interview videos for like 2 hours, but Brooke actually watched them with us, and she like was actually really into it.
I don't know how you had time for like line dancing, going to the beach, watching 2 hours of
Yeah, we did a
interviews.
lot. I think it was like after we got home from the beach, we had like a little bit of downtime before going to dinner. So we just like
Yeah.
watched Declan McKenna videos for like an hour.
I feel like weekends away, the time always feels so much longer for some
Yeah.
reason.
Like here too, like I'm technically away right
Yeah.
now because I'm at home. But like I feel like I have so like I'm actually I guess maybe we're just like making the most of the time instead of like sitting around.
Right.
But this is like a whole tangent. Okay.
I know, no, that was definitely a tangent, but like
We just like totally shifted the topic of the podcast. We're like
instead of trauma dumping, we went on a tangent.
yeah.
Um,
Also, like another one, which we kind of touched on earlier, is oversleeping, which,
or undersleeping. I saw that one on a list too. I think sleeping and eating are definitely something that can be affected,
mm-hmm,
and whether it's overeating or undereating or like forgetting to eat. or not sleeping enough or sleeping too little. Or wait, that's the same thing. Not
Mhm.
sleeping enough or oversleeping.
Yeah.
Because I think that a negative coping mechanism is definitely being like, oh, I don't want to deal with this. So
Mhm.
trying to avoid it by sleeping, because it's like, oh, if I'm asleep, I don't have to deal with the struggle of, do I have to get
Yeah.
this done, or do I have to deal with this or talk to this person or confront this situation? I'm being very vague, but I actually really struggle with coming up with like hypothetical situations on the spot.
Yeah, I've been this quarter I've been really good about fixing my sleep schedule because last quarter I was just so busy that I literally was up till like 2 or 3 in the morning every day. Um, but I would also like I always like crash during the day around 3 or 4 for some reason. So I would also just like crash in the middle of the day and like not get much work done in the middle of the day. So this quarter I've been better about like actually trying to like get my work done earlier in the day. And I'm like, if I finish my work by 8, I can like, you know, do like read, which I haven't really been reading, but like I can just like chill until 10 and then go to bed early.
I always tell myself that and it never happens.
Yeah, I it still hasn't really been happening too much, but at least I've been going to bed like before midnight pretty much the whole quarter, which is like a major accomplishment for me.
Yeah. Honestly, I've been going to bed at like midnight every night. So I've been getting like 5, sometimes 6 hours of sleep, which I can function off of that. But I think
Mhm.
sleep debt is so real. So when you don't
Mhm.
get, when you're getting like not enough sleep consistently, it like really messes you up. And then when I come home from school, I'm like so exhausted, but I have so much to do.
Mhm. Mhm.
So then I try to do stuff, but I'm not really truly productive. So then I don't
Yeah,
really get it on time. So I think like sleeping is definitely like the root of a lot of problems. Like
literally.
and like it's fixing your sleep schedule is so much easier said than done.
Yeah.
But by at least trying to get more sleep, I feel like you can be so much more
Yeah.
successful, because then your stamina throughout the day, you won't just crash and you'll be
Yeah,
able to.
definitely. Cuz I can even tell like before when I wasn't sleeping very well or like when I wasn't getting enough sleep, I would wake up a lot of the times like if I don't get enough sleep, I wake up feeling kind of like nauseous or I feel like I can't really eat
Yeah.
right throughout the day. So I've actually like been able to like eat. I don't really have a huge breakfast. I just have like one of those applesauce pouches, but I can at least like eat it without feeling nauseous on my drive to school, which is good.
Yeah. And school starts so early, so getting breakfast like it's literally 6:30 in the morning. If I can't,
I don't know how I got to school at 7:25 in high school. I can barely make it to my 8 a.m.
I've been barely making it on time every day this week.
Like that's so early.
Yeah, I can't wake up to my alarm anymore. It's like that's
I can't either. Or like I wake up to my alarm, but I literally can't get out of bed for an hour. I have to set my alarm for like an hour before I need to get out of bed because I literally like can't get myself out of bed.
hey guys.
Hey guys, so we were just recording for like 15 minutes or something, and I'm recording on Enzo's camera because I don't have my microphone, and the EOS camera stops at like 30 minutes. So I think we just lost like 15 minutes of our conversation, which is like really
It's
tragic, and we're
really
like trying to
depressing.
cope with it right now by like trauma dumping.
Yeah, see, a bad coping
Wait,
mechanism would be me just like calling it quits and being like, forget this.
wait, why was that kind of like,
Deep.
yeah,
It was like it meant to happen.
yeah,
It was
wait,
meant to
the
be.
telepathy gods.
The telepathy gods, they were like not on our side, but
Well, the telepathy gods heard you say, like, why can I not think of any scenarios? And they were like, we'll give you a
they're like, we'll give you
scenario.
one, bitch. But let's talk about positive coping mechanisms now,
Yeah.
because we're so positive and we're so happy.
We were like pretty much done with the episode. And then now we're just going all the way back to the beginning of talking about positive coping mechanisms. But it's
Yes,
okay.
we have some good stuff to offer.
Yeah.
And it's fine because technology happens.
Hmm.
Anyways, okay. So the first one on my list actually was relating once again to showering, but I think setting aside a time to shower is really important. And normally I love listening to music in the shower, but recently I've just been going no music at all because
Mhm.
I feel like like we're all constantly overstimulated with a lot of things like that. And also I've just been trying to not bring my phone into the bathroom because why am I like scrolling randomly when the shower water is heating up?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So
no.
like I've never showered with music, which is really weird for like how much I listen to music. Like it's actually kind of weird that I don't listen to music in the shower, but I feel like I like that's literally the only time in my day that I'm not stimulated because if I'm out of like the shower, I don't bring my phone in the shower because like I don't want my phone to get wet. Um and I feel like that's just kind of weird, but like every other time that I'm out of the shower, like I have the chance to reach for my phone or like just mindlessly scroll or
Oh
something.
yeah, I don't mean to bring it like inside of the shower. Like I keep it like,
No, yeah, but some
okay,
people do bring it inside of the shower.
have I done that before? Yes.
But like some people bring it in the shower every day, which I think is weird.
I also am scared that
Yeah,
like my phone is
yeah,
a camera and I don't
yeah,
trust.
exactly. Um, so like I, but yeah, I don't have a shower speaker or anything. But I also think that like for creative people, like being in the shower is like the best time for you to come up with like creative ideas because there's actually some sort of like science behind it. I read this book about it like recent over the summer, I think. But it's like when your brain is caught off guard, that's when your best ideas can come to you because it's like your subconscious is finally working.
Yeah.
So that's why like when I'm in the showers, like shower thoughts are real. Sometimes I come up with like really good ideas for my projects or like a solution to something that I've been like trying to figure out in the shower. And it's kind of the same as like when you're right about to fall asleep, you come up with a bunch of good ideas. It's kind of just like the best time. And I feel like I keep that sacred time for me in the shower to like let my brain actually have space to like think.
Right. And that's what I've been trying to do because I need to set aside time to be like quiet and stuff. And also, yeah, like your brain is working and thinking of stuff and being creative. And instead of just sitting at a desk, desperately trying to think of an idea,
Mm-hmm.
you're kind of cheating the system and letting your brain just
Mm-hmm.
naturally or like subconsciously do the work for you.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's actually like kind of crazy how that works. And also, um, I saw like talking about the overstimulated thing, like I saw that this TikTok or this Instagram reel. Um, I haven't been on TikTok in 2 weeks. But it was like saying it was this girl like looking at her computer and it was like me when me trying to tell my brain that it's just an email, not like a wild predator chasing me. And I feel like we're just so like overstimulated in our society now with like having to constantly work or constantly like when we're not working have like a side hustle or like, cooking dinner, like people in the caveman era or like the Middle Ages or whatever didn't have that much work. Like they would have more downtime to just do nothing. And I feel like now in our society, like our brains just think that we're in fight or flight mode constantly.
Especially when hobbies are turned into work.
Yeah.
Like I was actually thinking about it, how it's funny how back then with sports or whatever, or I don't know if this is how it was back then, but instead of just kicking a ball around and being like, oh, whatever,
Hmm.
now it's like there's soccer practice and then you have games on the weekend.
Yeah.
So it's like even your hobbies, some people do enjoy that, obviously,
Hmm.
but everything is kind of turned into
Yeah.
something new to do.
I was thinking about that the other day when I was driving home because I was like thinking about how much I love music and because I just love music. And I was like, man, maybe I should like, maybe my career should be in, not like necessarily in music as like on stage, but like, man, maybe I could be like a not a record producer, but like, just work in the business of that.
Right.
Um, but then I was like, why can't it just be like a hobby that, because I'd like to have a hobby that I'm not like monetizing. Because I feel like as soon as you monetize a hobby, it becomes work. And like, I did just start like a music writing column at my school's newspaper, which is really fun actually. But like, I just hope that it doesn't become a chore because I do genuinely enjoy just like writing an entire essay on a new album that
Yeah.
comes out. But it's like I feel like that's actually a good coping mechanism would be to like preserve one hobby that you can just do for fun and not monetize or have deadlines with.
I know that's what I've thought about music for so long is I felt this pressure to make it perfect and to make it like
Hmm.
this thing when in reality it is just a hobby.
Yeah.
And like if I like the outcome, then I should just be happy with that.
Yeah.
Which I think it's actually happening finally.
Yay.
March 15th, question mark,
Oh my gosh,
or the
wait, what if I
22nd.
write about your what if I write an article about your music?
Wait, that would be funny. Depending on how it's received.
Yeah.
Maybe, what if like everyone hates it? I don't know.
But we should talk about like exercising too, because I feel like that's
Yes.
another good coping mechanism that like I do not do because I'm not consistent with exercise, but I'm just like jealous of the people who can just like go exercise and they want to. It's not like, oh, I have to go exercise. Like for example, my aunt, she's a physical therapist, but she's also just like one of those people that exercises like every morning.
Oh my
And she
gosh.
films like Instagram reels of her exercising, and I'm like, man, I wish I could like be motivated to do that.
I really want to get into running, and I never thought I would say that because, I mean, it's probably because spring is somewhat soon. And at the beginning of quarantine, I was in a little running phase for some weird reason. Like, I've just never been like a runner. But recently, I'm like, wait. And like scientifically, like it releases endorphins, you
Yeah.
know?
I feel like that'd be so fun too once the time changes. It's like starts to be that like golden hour time and like the
Yeah.
fresh air and like
Okay, but like imagine,
quarantine.
just imagine you're like stressed. So you get up, you like put your AirPods on, and you just start like running.
Yeah,
Like, how cool is
like couldn't
that?
be me.
I could not be me, but like that would be cool. We'll see. Maybe I'll do like a video of like trying to become a runner,
That would be
and it's just
funny.
like trying to run a mile for 10 minutes. Anyways. Oh yeah, another coping mechanism I need to articulate.
Another copying mechanism.
Yes, copying. At first I was like, oh, did we explain that? I was like, we didn't lose the entire episode.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, writing a letter to yourself, or it doesn't even have to be like official journaling where you're having pretty handwriting in your little bullet journal. Even if you're just brain dumping in your notes app and you're kind of just writing to your future self that is thriving, and you're like, hey, I'm stressed right now. I know you're probably thriving right now, but this is how we're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think identifying emotions is really important. And that's something that I really want to start doing more. So kind of like when you're spiraling or just stressed out about multiple things, um, or just when multiple things are negatively affecting your emotions, just sort of identifying them and saying, okay, I'm sad about this. This is making me a bit angry. This is making me stressed. This is making me disappointed. Um, and of course, like there's more emotions out there than that. You know, watch Inside Out.
Say that thing that about Alicia Marie, the thing Alicia
Oh,
Marie
yes,
said.
yes.
It's
Oh
funny
my
trying
gosh.
to like recreate a conversation that we just had because like
It feels like a
some of
fever
it
dream now.
it feels like weird because some of the things I've actually like said exactly what I said word for word, and I like when you say something I'm like, oh, that's my cue to say this, but also we've said a few new things too.
And it's like unintentionally too, because
This is funny.
we have a little outline and it's like when you say something and it prompts me to say something. And
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, let me say
I feel like
this.
we're
And I'm like,
having
wait, I did say
telepathy
this.
because you said like we're having like telepathy moment because I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
you said this, and now it's my cue to say this.
Okay, the Alicia Marie thing though. How did you know that I was thinking about that? Oh my God.
Yeah, what the heck?
Okay. So she was saying with dealing with anxiety that a helpful thing can be to tell yourself like, or to ask yourself, what is my next thought going to be? And it kind of like glitches the system and kind of slows everything down. And you're like, wait, what am I thinking about next? Because then you're thinking about things more logically and less. Sometimes my thoughts, I couldn't even say it out loud because it's like a 5-second thought. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or when you think something, but it's like a millisecond thought.
Yeah, it's like not like it's like you don't even recognize that it's a thought. It's just like there.
Yeah. And it's like, oh my God, how's my brain even operating this fast?
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to try that to see how that even helps because
Mm-hmm.
it's a cool concept because if I
Yeah,
think
that
about like
is.
what am I going to think about next?
Yeah,
Then you more
that's
rationally think
interesting.
about, okay, what is next on the to-do list? Like, we got this.
Mhm.
And I guess the last thing, um, canceling plans. It can be a
Mm.
positive or a negative, so I think we should
Mhm.
talk about that.
Mhm. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like for me, canceling plans is kind of a negative thing, even though I'm an introvert. Like, if I have a plan, I'm usually really looking forward to it. I'm just like, I just love like doing things, I guess.
Yeah,
And if I cancel a plan, I feel like a failure. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I am just choosing to like lay in bed instead of do this thing. It
right.
depends on what it is though too, because if it's like hanging out with friends, I've never just like canceled plans on a friend. I don't think, but unless I just like literally can't go. But if it's something like an extra, but if it's something like an extra commitment that you realize is just gonna like waste your time, I feel like that's a good idea to cancel.
Right. And I also love surrounding myself with people who don't drain my social battery.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and obviously when you're hanging out with somebody maybe newer, it does require a little bit more like,
Mm-hmm.
because you're getting to know somebody. But I do love people that I've known for so long, and it's just like we could sit in a
Yeah.
silent room for an hour and it's not
Yeah.
awkward or it's not boring or whatever. But I think it is definitely okay to kind of tell somebody like, you know, I love you, but I can't do this tonight because it's been a rough week. I need to just like
Yeah.
rot on my bed.
Mm-hmm.
Bed rotting question
Bed
mark.
rotting. I feel
Maybe a
like we
future
could do a whole
episode.
episode on that actually.
We literally could. But I
We
think
could
it
like
also
look
is.
back into the science of like, or like not the science, but like the evolution of how we got from like taking a nap to bed rotting. Like I feel like that would be really
Yeah.
interesting. Next episode.
But I also feel like socializing can be a really positive coping mechanism. Not socializing, just having plans. Because there are some times where I feel like I get overwhelmed and I
Mm-hmm.
have all these due dates and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I have to do this and go see this person. And then I kind of have to slow myself down and realize, like, wait, this is for fun. This is
Yeah.
not another thing to do. Like, you do enjoy
Yeah.
hanging out with this person. And then I go and then I feel so much more relieved.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
yeah, so I think that's definitely a good thing.
Okay. Cool. I feel like we covered a lot of things.
I know we actually were able to save like 15 minutes.
Yeah. It's
Or not save it, but revive it.
yeah. It's funny because going into this episode, I was like, I kind of knew what we were going to talk about, but not really. But I liked how we had like an kind of an anecdote about each topic that we could like relate to our
Yeah.
lives. That was kind of interesting. So, yeah.
So go out in the world, do amazing things, cope. Just cope.
Shout out to the people who are coping.
Shout out to the copers.
Shout out to Copper.
Copper and his dog.
Yeah. Who gets all of the cat's anger taken out
Angry
on him.
for a full circle
Yeah.
discussion.
But yeah, go follow our Instagram at the Telepathy Pod. Check out our YouTube channels, Anna Catherine and
Enzo Antonio. Also, I thought of one more really positive coping mechanism,
okay.
and this is 100% guaranteed. But like listening to specifically this one podcast,
Mm-hmm.
it's called Telepathy, I think, with Enzo Antonio and Anna
Oh, why did
Catherine.
I not see where you were going with that? I like
Really, that's the
literally.
second time. It was in the Grammys episode 2 where you didn't, where I was like, and podcast of the year goes to.
Yeah. No, I literally was like, I'm gonna write this down. I'm like excited to hear about a new podcast. LOL.
Okay, listen to our podcast. We have other episodes.
Yeah, go follow our telepathy playlist, our telepathy letterboxed.
True.
Which we need to like.
Promote that. It's at Enzo and update it too. I'll add Barbie and the Diamond Castle to it.
I'll add the link to that on our stories this week.
Yeah, it's under my letterboxed at Enzo Antonio, and it is
And add Whiplash.
true. Yeah, and it's the diary. No, not diary. The list called Telepathy Movie Shoutouts.
Yeah, I'll put a link to that on the stories this week. But yeah, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with another interesting episode. And yeah, go cope however you
Go
do
cope.
plan to.
Could do it positively, hopefully.
Yes.
Go run. Be a runner. Shout out to
Yeah.
the runners. Okay. Bye.
Bye.